The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night Award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into the Halos in the Infield post-game show, the only place where you get the real fans who actually participate, go to the games and have a good time, and then I'm telling you, if you went to the game today, because I didn't, I had some family stuff to do and gave the tickets away. So I'm kind of glad I did. I normally am not glad that I don't go to games because I love this team. I love to see where this game goes. I love to see how baseball's played because I used to play it. It's fun. It's great. But the game itself has not turned on the Angels. The league itself has not turned on the Angels. Maybe they've turned their back on Artie Moreno. But Artie Moreno, along with his team of consultants or geniuses behind the scenes, have turned their backs on this squad, and you see the result. You see the result of everything that has gone on this team. And man, oh man, it is sad to watch on a Sunday. Again, if you wasted your time on this thing, I apologize, even though I'm not representing the Angels as far as, being affiliated with them in any way. This is the Heady post-game show with your host, Todd Fox. I'm a little discombobulated because I can't believe they lost by a baker's dozen. We're by the fans, for the fans, by the fans. We do this show for you, and you guys take this show wherever it's got to go. And I just got to ask you a quick question. I gotta put it out as a poll question. What do you think is really wrong with this team as far as no, that's a dumb question. I should say, who's to blame and how would this thing get better? You know what I mean? Is there someone in your mindset outside of Artie Moreno, or is it just Artie Moreno himself? Is that the easy slam dunk question as far as what's actually wrong with this team? Because the way it is with this team right now, the Angels they just can't do anything right. They just can't do a damn thing right now. And it's really sad to watch. I wish this team was more fun. I wish this team had more edge to it, more fire, more desire. Instead, it just seems like they're going backwards. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's frustrating as all hell to watch this team go out there day in, day out and just get their asses kicked, man. It's truly frustrating. And in the comments, again, we're going to go through the comments in a bit, but I would like to know what is the problem, because on a game like this, if for the casual fan to look at it, they were beaten in every facet today, and we'll go through the stats. I mean, they were crushed. This is a good baseball team in Detroit, but you look at how they played the first two games, starter wise, until they got to making some mistakes late, to the bullpen blowing up. They were in and possibly could have won game one and game two. And then you look at yesterday, a great pitching performance. They played all around the best baseball they played in over 2 weeks and got the W. And you could say coulda, woulda, shoulda won 3 out of 4 against the first place team. But no, Detroit does what it's got to do against bad teams. And that's why they're a winning club, 9 games over 500, while the Angels are 7 games under 500. And it's kind of weird to look at the Angels today. They're 13-20. They got the Baltimore Orioles later in the week. And the Baltimore Orioles are basically, you look at them and you say, damn, dude, the Baltimore Orioles, they have the same record worst bullpen and starting pitching in all of baseball. Today, they gave up something stupid like 7 or 8 solo home runs to the Kansas City Royals, who have the worst home runs and I think the least amount or second least amount of home runs in all the league. And they, that's what's going on with them. So they're struggling. But I can't look at that team and say, well, we should blast them. It's like, dude, like they may not have the pitching, but they've got the hitting, and we don't have the pitching much either. And we sure as hell don't have the hitting, because they put up only 1 run and 5 hits today again. And we've seen rumblings, all kinds of things coming from Sam Blum and other reporters who actually ask real questions about what's going on with this team. Why are they so bad? You have Ron Washington saying, well, I've talked to the guys and they just don't, I don't know how many meetings I could have with them. The more meetings we have, we've had so many meetings. If I have some more meetings, I could lose this team because nobody's going to listen. I don't think they're listening at all right now. And the things, Grillmaster sent me a message. I got messages from a few of the other people in our page, and they're telling, you know what, man? The Rangers just cleaned house. They got rid of because of StatCast and all the bullshit that these guys put out there, instead of just sticking to old school baseball and hitting instructors in general and having a hitting instructing team in general, we have video guys, we have stat guys, we have geeks, we have this, we have that, and you have a collective team that goes along with a hitting coach. So today, the Angels' 2 biggest coaches are Tim Laker and also Johnny Washington. Tim Laker's the OC, the offensive coordinator, while Johnny Washington is the stat guy, and he's the hitting instructor that has the final say on everything. And then you got the geeks up there that are running things into the ground. They might as well be working for that other podcast, because that's what they love to do, but they're ruining the hitting, right? So what's going on in Texas is, going back to my point, is Texas just decided, the same amount of games we are into the season, 33. Hey, that's it. The managers had enough of them. Bochy's had enough of them. The freaking general managers had enough of them. He fired the complete and utter staff, like the whole staff, gone. So, while we're worried about, well, if Ron Washington gets fired, who's going to elevate to that managerial spot as interim, right? Or if we fire Johnny Washington, if he goes, who's going to take his spot? Who's going to fill that spot? It's like, no, the Texas Rangers were like, we don't care about all that. We'll hire a new staff. We'll have Bochy, and we'll have our general manager come in here, and we'll find a staff that's going to work better with what Bochy wants to do. Is that the answer? Because forget the pitching for a second. We all know that we have an inferior pitching staff. If you have to weigh the pitching staff to our hitting staff, what do you think is better? What do you think has the most talent? I have to, me personally, you may disagree, but me personally, I think there's far more talent hitting wise on this team. You may say, how is that so, Todd? The stats don't bring it out. Because of the way that their approaches are just so goddamn awful. They're so bad. But every one of these players has come from an organization, or in this organization at some point have hit really good, have gone the other way. None of the tendencies that they've done prior to this season are coming to fruition. Instead, you're having a lot of just bad. And I don't see how you can continue to make excuses for this staff, for this hitting staff. I don't see how you can make excuses for anybody related on this organization in general, especially the hitting side. So if Texas had the balls, the Texas size cojones to go out there and say, we're getting rid of the entire staff, the StatCast geeks, all those morons who think they know baseball but never have touched a baseball. Maybe they play Sunday league church ball, but they don't play professional, never played semi, never played organized baseball, but they're the ones, because they know math and made up stats instead of tendencies. They're the ones that can control what we do on the field. And you know what? The Texas Rangers are like, we have such talent on this team. Why are our guys batting under 200? Why are our guys batting 150 or less? Why are we striking out so much? Well, it's because of what they're being taught and told and the freaking game plan they're given. So you've seen it in football. You've seen it not so much in basketball, but in football, if you're given a freaking coaching staff that doesn't know what they're doing, but a ton of talent, that team's going to rot away. You could have one of the best quarterbacks, but if you're not teaching him right, If you could have one of the best offensive lines, best defensive lines. If you don't have a good coaching staff, it goes to shit. If you don't have a good mindset focus, it goes to shit. Same thing in baseball, because it's not the old baseball of 20 years ago where it's just go out there and hit it, go on gut instincts. This isn't Mike's social ball anymore. This is way too much analytics. It's way too much overthinking. They're being thrown a lot of information that they don't really have to do. Instead of just tweaking their swings, telling them, giving them signs to go the other way, teaching them to go the other way, teaching them to bunt, we're making things too confusing. Whereas you had about like 10 stats, right? 10 total stats that you really have to look after, which was basic, right? Now you have about 100 of them. And all these players have got to know what this means and what that means and how to do this and what. It's so stupid. You don't need launch angle. You don't need exit velocity. You hit it where there ain't. And if you hit a good line drive home run, it's the same as you would hit a pop fly home run. It doesn't fucking matter how hard you hit it. It's can you get to base? You get to base however you can do it. But no, we've made this too difficult. And that's why Texas saw the light and we're like, oh, we got to make a change. And you know what? They're probably going to be better for it. Because in a division where basically even Seattle, as they've won 8 in a row, I don't know how many series in a row, they're not freaking unbeatable. That is a above mediocre team. Everybody in our division has flaws and problems. However, a scary team could be Texas because they do have the horses to then be balanced. Now, if you look at Seattle, they weigh heavy on the pitching. So if they get any kind of hitting, hey, they're going to be good. If you look at Texas, they've got decent pitching, but they weigh heavy on the hitting. And their hitting has been in the toilet, as bad as ours almost. But they've gotten away with some wins because they've been able to pitch a little bit better and get a few timely hits, just enough to keep their heads above water. The Angels can't even do that. That's how bad they are. But Texas is not as bad as we are, and they're like, hey, man, we're letting this kind of slide and get away. Time for a change. You know, they saw the tendencies from last year. Last year was horse shit for them too, and it's carried into this year. Well, it's been horse shit for us last year too, and it's carried into this year, and we're still sitting there like, hey, let's run it back. Let's keep going. Hey, man, just keep rolling with it. Eventually, these guys will turn the page. No, they're not, because they keep giving you the same consistent 1-run 4 hits, 1-run 5 hits. These games are monotonous for the Angels and boring to watch. When they are hitting, when the other team is hitting, I'm more intrigued on what they're doing, because I know the Angels are going to come up there and just, they may get into one and hit a solo blast. Well, yeah, solo blast. But then what? You get nobody on base. You're not stealing bases. You're not walking. Again, let's look at some of these scores right here. You have from let's see, the full schedule right here. I'm going to read off these scores for you. So the Angels' powerful offense, they lost 8-1 on opening day. They won 1-0. They won 3-2. They won 5-4. They won 9-7. They lost 12-5. They lost 8-6. They won 10-4. They won 6-2. They won 4-3. That's where it all ended, baby. April 8th, when they beat Tampa in Tampa. No, actually, no, I'll go 2 more games. They lost 5-4 and they won 11-1. That's where it all ended, baby. That's when on April 10th, after Tampa Bay series, that was the height of their offense. That was the height of their offense. Because after that, listen to how much they score. Against Houston, lost 14-3, won 4-1, lost 7-3, lost 4-0, lost 3-1, lost 5-3, won 2-0, lost 3-2, won 5-4, lost 9-3, lost 3-0, won 4-3, lost 11-4, lost 5-1, lost 5-0, lost 5-3, lost 9-3, lost 10-4, lost 9-1, won 5-2, lost 13-1. Do you see what happened? They average no higher than 4 runs a game. And most times under 3 or at 3. You cannot win with that. And you cannot win with mediocre pitching with that either. So it's not only the pitching that everyone wants to blame, it is by far the hitting. The hitting is not coming anywhere close to being competitive. Yet we're still going to sit here and blame the pitching. The pitching's bad. Trust me, the pitching is bad. Touki Toussaint is back. He was with us in a reject 2 years ago. And Perry's like, bring him on down. What the hell are we doing? We keep bringing up guys, not even giving them a chance, like Hicks. We're ruining him. He's already been brought up twice. You watch, he'll go back down again. I mean, man, the Angels need to clean house. They need to start with the hitting. So with all that being said, what do they do on the field today? And it's in the title. They lost by a baker's dozen. The Detroit Tigers, 13 runs, 16 hits. 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh, 2 in the ninth. The Angels mustered up a powerful 1 run on a ground rule double that scored an RBI for Zach Neto. I mean, that's just embarrassing, dude. On so many levels, just embarrassing. But don't tell that to Bally's. I mean, FanDuel, yes. It caused us much emotional damage. And there's only one song to play, and it's going to get played for both the hitting and the pitching, and that is Cash for Gold, because, again, I don't understand any other song that perfectly fits other than the circus music on how bad we really are. And I got to here, let's start it off with some Cash for Gold from our South Park. So let's go over the lineup. Zach Neto, 2 for 5, 1 RBI, the strikeout. Nolan Schanuel, 0 for 3. Cavadis, 0 for 1. Soler, 0 for 3 and a walk. They got 4 walks today, but guess what? They struck out 12 times. Taylor Ward, baby, 1 for 3, raising that average all the way up to 176. You got Campero going for 0 for 1, Ohapi 0 for 2 and a strikeout. Renifo 0 for 3 and 2 strikeouts. Joe Adell. Wow, is he bad. 176, 2 strikeouts. Kyron Paris. I love this kid, but he's terrible right now. He still has not had his swing adjusted. 0 for 3. 3 more strikeouts. Tim Anderson got 2 hits today. Now the pitching. 5 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings for Kwanowitz. 2 walks. Not a good start for him. Daryl Hicks, 3 runs in an inning. You got Fermin giving up 2 hits and 3 runs in 1 inning. Then you got Touki Toussaint, 2 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits. Wow, this team sucks. 13-1. 13-1. And you had a big crowd there today, too. Big crowd announced of 37,000. And they're man, 35,000 in attendance for this 37. I'm sorry. I just don't know what to say other than, heads have got to roll, dude. I mean, you can't. I went through the games, right? I mean, you guys heard me, right? Like they, after we were all honking our honks and they were 9-5 out the gates, leaving Tampa, coming home. You're like, yeah, baby, yeah, fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, the hell happened, man? I mean, you're literally quoting word for word Coach Lombardi. What the hell's going on out here? Every night it was what the hell's going on out here. Day game. What the hell's going on out here? Night game. What the hell's going on out here? Exactly. I mean, you don't know what's going on out there. I mean, they're not scoring. They're not doing anything. And the glaring holes of this lineup, the way that they're swinging, the way that they don't give a damn, and the stupidity from AM 830 who keeps blowing propaganda at everybody. It's like, hey, this team is still good and don't worry about it. Come out here for Mother's Day weekend. Hey, Star Wars weekend. Hey, you got the pullover fleece. Hey. I mean, that shit's not working anymore, man. I mean, it worked before, but you're still getting fans coming on a Sunday because it's like we said the other night. before I get into the comments and the awards and all that stuff, you have a good fan base here, a loyal fan base. Anaheim Stadium, no matter how bad it looks, has become a place to go, a staple to go. I've known so many people that come from out of state, from out of the country even. And what do? They come to see Disneyland, number one, and then they always make it around baseball time so they can catch an Angels game. It's part of SoCal. It's part of Orange County. We are not Los Angeles, goddammit. We are not, you don't go to Universal Studios in Anaheim Stadium. It doesn't work that way. Disneyland and Angel Stadium are intertwined. They just are. And it's a great place to bring the family. It's a safe place to have a tailgate. Fans of all races, backgrounds, political affiliations, religious beliefs can get together. I can't say that for Dodger Stadium. They're bringing on freaking pedophiles in nun outfits, right? They kill each other in the stands. They're not allowed to have tailgates. They close Elysian Park so that you can't even tailgate outside the stadium. Right? Dodger Stadium has done a lot of good baseball-wise, but their fans, the people, they can't get along with each other. They fight each other. And that's with police in attendance. At least Angel Stadium, you can bring your kids. For the most part, you may have a scuffle here or there, but we all get along. We all get along. And it's even more fun when we're able to high-five people we don't even fucking know when they hit home runs and when they win the games. It's a great atmosphere. But Artie is pissed on all of that, on all of us. On all of us, man. He's made us a joke. This franchise is a fucking joke. We are now the Clippers of the 90s. You realize that every other stadium, every other team in SoCal and Los Angeles has a brand new stadium. And now with the Ducks getting that $1 billion renovation. And we're sitting there with the oldest ballpark rotting away. Okay, fine. At least if we're winning, who gives a damn, right? Well, that ain't happening either. That ain't happening either. You might as well bring out all the old Clippers and put them in baseball jerseys because that's what we're starting to look like right now. I mean, it's embarrassing, dude. I've never had this less, like even when I grew up in the 90s, right, watching this team, I had confidence in that team. It was fun to watch because, yeah, they had losing records or they were 500 or whatever, but they could put up runs. And they could shut you out every other night. This team can't put up runs. They could be shut out on several nights. It's embarrassing. It's boring baseball because at least when that team lost games 5-1 or 5-0 even, they were still getting hits and getting walks and getting on base. They just couldn't get a run with runners in scoring position. Or they get into a shootout where it was like 8-7. And even though they lost, it was still fun because they put up a fight. There's no fight in this team. So if it's clear that, okay, the pitching sometimes shows up and gives you valuable starts like they did the first 3 games. And yes, the bullpen fell apart because that's on Perry for not getting the available relievers who were in the free agent market and trusting a bunch of rejects off the street or trusting a bunch of rookies with no experience. That's Perry's fault on the pitching side. It's not Barry's fault, Barry Enright. It's Perry. And then when it comes to the hitting, Perry put the right guys in place. I still believe we have the talent to win hitting-wise, but you got the wrong approach. You got the wrong plan every game. You got the wrong coaches, the wrong stat guys, the wrong nerds. All those guys need to go. They're the problem. Because I guarantee you, if you let these guys, if you had them studying the right film, looking for the right things, tweaking their mistakes that they're doing in the box, I guarantee you, I'll put that on my fandom, that they would start winning. They would start winning and turning things around, and you'd have a change in the hitting. We've faced other teams that have far less talent doing far better than we are. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. Oh, I got worked up today with this stupid fucking team, wasting 3 more hours of my time and yours and everybody else's. So let's just play the saddest song because, again, this is us again. We have 129 games left to play, and the season starts tonight. Currently, the Angels, and I don't like looking at standings, but they've been so pathetic. 13-20 right now, 7 games out of first place. Seattle's not running away with this division. I don't have any faith in any of these teams to win more than 86 to 90 games this year. That's it. So, with that being said, not saying that this team had the talent to catch him, because I got him at 81 to start the season, but I felt that they could be in it and be a thorn in their side, kind of play the Oakland side of things this year. They're not doing that. Oakland's like, hold my beer. They're 19-16. I would have to say right now, if you would have told me the Angels were 19-16 right now, I'd be like, yeah, they're on par with what I think they would be. I think they would have a slump in September and come back down to earth a little bit and not make the playoffs, obviously, but be around 500, and I'd be good with that. That's an improvement from only 63 wins. But the way it's looking right now, you could say, well, they're on their way to another 63 game. They're going to have to try to work hard not to get to that 100 loss point, because you would think at some point they're going to trade away a lot of these pieces, but maybe not, because the Angels have never done a real fire sale when they should have. And do you really want to give up on the young core? Hell no. I think this all has to come down to the goddamn coaching. And it's time for this organization to man up and make some changes, for God's sake. So with that being said, brought to you in part by 714 Tickets, where you can get tickets for some reason if you want to go to Angel games. Instead of paying just $60 for a ticket or $30 for a ticket, depending on where you see, even if you want to pay $7, you can get an additional 10% off by just putting HITI in the promo code. And the price you see at $7, $30, or $60 is going to remain the same regardless of if you put in HITI, because there's no service fees, there's no taxes, none of that shit. It's just straight up whatever the price is whatever the price is going to be. And then if you add the heating to that, you get the 10% off. So it works both ways. I don't know why anybody would choose Vivid Seats. I don't know why Ticketmaster, who loves to rape you, you pay for one ticket on Ticketmaster and you wind up paying twice for it. For one ticket. It makes no sense. Don't go to places like that. They will straight up take you with no Vaseline. Go to 714 Tickets. I'm telling you, you cannot lose with 714 Tickets. So who is the player of the game tonight? Who deserves? But first of all, I think owner of the year has to go to this guy, because he is the problem.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's me. Hi.
He looks good in that old retro shirt. By the way, who gets the player of the game? John Stamos Award for Best Player, brought to you in part by 714 Tickets. I can't even finish playing that slide because the Golden Stamos has Artie freaking smiling, and I can't stand the mother effer right now. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm fired up. I'm pissed off. This team sometimes drains me like no other, dude. I mean, it's an abusive relationship, but we're all in this relationship together, and we're like, we could change him or her. We can. They'll change for us, right? And we're trying to convince ourselves that it's going to change. Some of us have just gone the other way, but oh, damn. 12 more strikeouts tonight. Player of the game. I mean, you could look at the pitcher, Olsen, and Olsen had a whatever. He really didn't mow us down too bad. He really didn't, nothing spectacular. So I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to Carpenter. Curry Carpenter. No, you know what? They're going to share a Golden Stamos. I think Kerry Carpenter, along with Sweeney right now, Trey Sweeney, destroyed us today. You had 6 RBIs by Trey Sweeney, their shortstop, 5 RBIs by the right fielder and Carpenter. Between them, they had 8 hits in 11 at bats. So they went combined 8 for 11 and with 11 RBIs. It was a 2-man wrecking crew. They crushed us today, as they will share a Golden Stamos for players, plural, of the game. And let's go over to the Nacho Night, worst player on the team.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad
Yes. The Nacho Night Award. I mean, like, there's so many candidates. I mean, you could throw it on Kyron Paris. You could throw it on the pitching staff. I mean, those guys were just giving it runs. The 4 guys who are listed now have ERAs of 5.79, 9.39, 15, and 9. Damn, I don't know where to go with this one, to be honest with you. You hit into 2 double plays. You went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. You left 9 guys on. I didn't even know they had 9 guys on. Damn. Give it to Johnny Washington and his coaching staff, Tim Laker, and the rest of those idiots and morons who believe in StatCast. Let's give them a heaping helping of nachos that have expired meat and cheese, and let's hope that they get some sort of like flaming hot diarrhea for the next 10 days, and they could lose 15 pounds in the process, because they deserve to be on the toilet making us pay to watch shit. They might as well shit at their house and in their pants as much as possible, because it's incredibly depressing to watch this baseball team day in, day out, and to watch how bad they've just made this organization, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, there is talent there. There is talent on this team. Nobody's questioning the talent that they do have on this team, but man, are they being misused in so many ways. I'd like to hear from you in the comments, and let's get started, shall we? Marty says, well, this game did suck. And Marty also says, I still blame Grildo for the loss. Vetter says, I was there and it was such a disappointment. Dan Rios checks in because some people didn't check in today, and that he wants to know, is it Spritz yet? Well, yes, it is, sir.
O'clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Andrew Johnson says, man, I need a few glasses of Spritz after that. At 54.5, you'd be in the shitter with that. EQ says, sell the team, Artie. We don't need to start a petition and send it to the league to get Artie Moreno out of here. Stukas were grounded. Also, Joe says, oh, no, we suck again. Yes, I mean, I don't think that there's any way else to say it other than...
Oh, no! We suck again!
Wilbur says, pain. All we know is pain. Dan Rio says, sell the team and me love you long time. Daniel also says, sup.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny. And me love you long time.
Andrew says, there's no ifs, buts, or maybes. We're actually worse than last year. Sell the team, god damn it. Marty says, I was surprised they even scored a damn run. Dan Rio says, Little League Day got shit on again. Poor kids. Piss and shit, Joe says. Marty says also, I can believe they lost by a baker's dozen. Steven says, sorry, I was streaming Star Wars all day. Joe says, clean house, baby. Useless Trucker checks in with, in the silence of the airways, thoughts collide. Frustrated hosts with tales they can't confide. Their passion lost in static. Dreams denied. Damn, dude should write a book. He's coming up with some great rhymes. Marty says, start watching tape on other pitchers rather than swinging for the fences every damn at bat. Also, Artie, sell a team. Coaching staff seems like they are trying their hardest, but players don't feel good about something that's inside the locker room. Something is up. It's a mystery. The Angels suck checks in with the biggest issue I had was Gooby's Jack K. Glaze. Hey. He pitched 14 changeups and 9 of them were for strikes. Great work. At Trash Halo says a monkey could do better than this coaching staff. Silent E says Ron can place the blame on the players all he wants. He needs to do his damn job and do something. I don't care if he's lost the team. Feet need to be in asses because Ron is ultimately responsible. Robert says at USC, when Pete Carroll was there, the staff was complaining about telling players the same thing 100 times. Pete Carroll responded, then tell him 101 more times. Coaches need to be held accountable. Man, it's powerful. Nathan checks in with, there's a thing called talent, and these guys don't have it. No amount of coaching is going to change that. That could be true. That could be true. But I still see, I mean, look, we all have our opinions, man, and I respect yours. I'm not shitting on yours. I just see it on the hitting side. I'm not saying the complete talent is with the pitching. I know we have warts on both sides, but I do see a little bit more talent on the hitting. That's just my evaluation. Nathan also says Todd's anti-analytics approach is beginning to make me think he's getting paid by Artie. Look, Nathan, I'll tell you this. There is a place in the game for analytics. There really is. But I don't like the StatCast shit because it's more of like feeding off of, it's a glorified way to say trends, because that's how we used to play baseball. There was a trend of me hitting the ball to left field. I was a pull ball hitter. So that's a trend. There shouldn't be a stat for that. It's just a trend. So that's what I do. That's what personally I do. So there's other hitters that go the other way all the time. It's just what they do, or they hit up the middle. I think analytics do work, but there has to be a healthy balance. If you push too much stats, I think you're pushing these players away. But you know, I'm not being paid by Artie. I wouldn't be doing this show if I was being paid by Artie. He wouldn't like it too much, and I'd be fired. Halo says, damn, these guys suck. We definitely need more Deos. Well, if you need more Deos, damn it, Halo Joe, I'm the one to give them to you. By the way, did anyone catch the Deo if you were still watching in the 9th inning? I mean, you're down 12 runs and they're playing Deo. And you still got fans going, hey, yo! Andrew says they should hold open tryouts at the Big A during the day tomorrow. Best 5 people are on the 25-man roster, and we drop 5 bums. I think Kavadas could be dropped. Silent E says the Ducks are having the same types of problems with Cronin. A lot of young players with some vets prepared, and he wasn't doing shit and blaming the players, and now the Ducks fired his ass. It could be repeating itself. Also, Andrew says we look like we were ran by the OC Marathon this morning we look like we ran the OC Marathon this morning before the day game. Useless Trucker says math whizzies with numbers. They analyze the game, but their stats on the diamond just drive fans insane. With formulas in hand, they've turned fun into shame. Texas Rangers Clubhouse checks in with, it will be interesting to see if the Rangers offense gets rolling now that they let Ecker go. Yeah, they cleaned house today, buddy. Kylo says start with getting rid of Ward, Adele. Those guys are unfixable. I can go with that. That's actually a good thing right there. Ward, I'm not a fan of Ward. I kind of like Adele. I want him to succeed, but maybe the writing's on the wall with him too. Joe says, thank God there's a day off tomorrow so I don't have to watch this shit team. Texas Rangers Clubhouse says, ouch. Nancy says, you've been right. The entire team is taking on Ward's no care attitude. Absolutely. Hayes says, only going to give away giveaway nights this season. Won't be watching the games on TV unless his team is 3 games over 500. And by the way, too, I mean, way to start charging fans to watch this slop, too. Halo Joe says Todd only gets 6 likes. Let's hit the like. Let's hit the like button, people. Appreciate that, Halo Joe. J Dog says we suck so bad it's crazy, but all there is on is Bally's. Hey, Mother's Day lunch, Mother's Day brunch. Hey. Don't worry about the double plays and the fact that we strike out a dozen times. Go to the Mother's Day brunch where you can get all the hot dogs you can eat. Watch your mother eat weenies. Heedy is the best with laughs and good cheer, while Locked On just locks up the fun. Oh dear, tune into the champs. Make your choice clear. Appreciate that one. Hayes says just hit the like button. Marty says 37,000 people wasted their day watching this garbage. Angel Sucks says so many non-Angel fans at these Angels games. It's sick. Yeah, because now it's just a place to go. It's a thing to do. You have a lot of little leaguers there who love other teams in Ohtani. They're not going to go there for the Angels. And then you have the giveaways where a lot of people just show up to get them. the things. EQ says, Todd, I think it's time that we protest or something impactful, that we do something about this. The fans and the people need to show that we don't want Artie no more here. Again, I'm game, EQ. And EQ, we need to get other people involved, other podcasts, even if we have differences, involved. And if we do that, the reach is a lot further. We can get fans out there in the parking lot, honk if you want Artie out, stuff like that. Chants at the games, buying shirts, and about to sell the team. Like we have that logo up on the corner right there. That needs to happen. And more fans need to be vocal, not just on here, not just at the game, but on social media. Keep putting it out there. Go to MLB forums, go to the Rangers page and say, hey, man, I'm envious of you guys. You guys did the right thing today, and you got rid of the crap that was in your front office and on the field as well, in the dugout. And you guys are going to be better for it. You're a better run franchise. I wish my Angels were like that, but my Angels suck because we're owned by a terrible owner. And just stuff like that, things will go viral. Other fan bases will see it because we're tucked away. Even though we're Los Angeles, we're not talked about like Los Angeles. Again, Frank McCourt got ousted over dumb shit. And again, there's powerful people in Los Angeles that need that team to be good. They don't want to have their colleagues fly in from all different countries because they own a suite at Dodger Stadium or own a box, and they want to show off a winning franchise. So if just not that kind of people that live in the OC, but there are some important people that live in the OC, but they've not made their voices heard enough. The Anaheim Council's finally starting to make a move and push Artie a bit, but no one's pushed him for years. You know what I'm saying? Like they pushed McCourt right out the bat because they wanted a winner there. They wanted LA to be represented. They don't care about Anaheim because, again, we're Los Angeles only in quotes. We are not Los Angeles as a team and as geographic wise. We are Anaheim, OC. So again, we're second fiddle. It's going to take a lot to make some noise. Manfred is not a commissioner that listens to the fans. He's doing what's best for the owners at this point, and Artie's paid his dues. And as much as, they don't see Artie as a problem. So we have to make him become a problem. Because if you don't, he'll just stay exactly where he's at. And he'll just be doing the same stuff every year. And we'll be losing this fan base year after year after year. Hayes says, no way that there was 37,000 fans. The capacity is 47. Actually, it's 45, I believe. That shit always looks empty as fuck. Yeah, I think the tickets were sold. I don't think there was 37,000, but either way, they made 37,000 tickets disappear at some point. Wash said that this game is a little bump in the road. They're taking back the West. Agree with the Hayes. It looked like 20,000 max. Silent says the Cash for Gold music is even funnier when you speed up the video times. Also, Marty says Dodgers' next giveaway is Ohtani-shaped shank. Vetter says no more Clippers slander, Todd. Hey, but at least you can look at it this way. You guys got a new owner, state-of-the-art facility. You guys are going to be winners for some time. You guys shouldn't be looking back. Angel Suck says, yep, the stadium is primarily amusement park. Being family friendly is number one. Fuck winning, right? Useless Trucker says at AM 8:30 they cheer with delight for the Angels grand slams, but miss the last flight. Clueless in baseball, their truths take a hike. JT says you can't expect to win scoring one run, but you also can't expect to win giving up 13. I like that logic. Clippers is tolerated up until they win their first chip. Otherwise, they're just a team with a new stadium. That's not a flex. Okay. Hayes says Clipper slander is tolerated up until, oh yeah, I already read that one. Halo Joe says, if you put our players today in the Dodgers organization, where would their record stand? I would have to say at least 500 or a little bit better. I really do. I think the Dodgers coaches could get a lot more out of this team. I need some positivity today, Todger Lodge. No, I'm not going there. Hayes says, bruh, I've checked the standings. I haven't checked the standings in weeks. How the fuck are the A's in second place right now? God damn, this Angels team sucks. Also, Useless Trucker says, Perry picked pitchers with flair and some cheer, but the bullpen he chose turned out quite the fear. Now that every game's a circus, grab popcorn, my dear. See, I mean, he's rolling with this. I love it. 2 games in a row without a home run. Yeah, dude, Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, Artie Sucks checks in with Artie cursed this team and when we dropped the Anaheim for the name. Absolutely. Mateo's worried about basketball. Hayes says this team got cursed with the MLB Instagram admin known Dodger Glazer posted them on their page. For sure did some voodoo shit to my beloved shitty team. Mason says, I can't believe they gave up 10 goddamn runs and worst they've done this year. The worst they've done this year. Silent E says, no Dylan Dingers because he wasn't even in the lineup tonight. Win probability was down 10%, and we still took a huge dingler. Right now, Halo talk about no Vaseline, light that baby up. Also, can't honk it tonight, man. I think a lot of us are on a losing streak because there's no honking. Absolutely. It's been a honkless week. Also, I used 714. Got my ticket for $4.50 with a Heedy code. Apparently, a lot of fans got Detroit baseball souvenirs too. David said, Todd, you and I love the Angels equally, but why would you want to spend your quality family time doing other things by putting yourself through this torture every day? I try to get away and have the game in on the background, things around the house, clean up, like do the deck, stuff like that. Clean the deck, whatever. Help my dad with his train stuff, but still, I mean, I can't get away from this team. Like I said, I'm in a bad relationship right now. I do need a mental health day, man. I need to swing away. That's what I need to do. Damn, 54.5. Frederick says, and the Beatles, I'm a loser to the add that song to the song list. I would if YouTube wasn't giving strikes away like Angel pitchers or hitters. Also, the Angels suck says, speaking of launch angle, they were glazing Zach Neto's average launch angle during the broadcast, of course. Tony C says, why can Texas Rangers fire the offensive coordinator? Kwanowitz needs to be sent down. Washington should tell the Angels to come in an hour late or an hour early, no batting practice. See what happened last night. Jesse Garcia says, how do you get the organization to realize what they are doing is all wrong? You could not show up. You could, but then again, tickets are already mostly paid for. You could not watch, or I believe you could go and actually get the fans to yell, sell the team and boo. And again, your honks on AM 830 are going to be like, you can't boo. If you're fighting the organization, you're taking it out on the team. Well, then they're collateral damage. I think the players know that the fans love them. They know that by now they should know they hate the owner. So I don't think the boos that would be down or the chance of sell the team egos, I think it would just be like, man, we do have an effed up organization, and maybe they can talk and stand up. The talent is there. It's being squandered. Ross checks in with, not even a yummy tasting nut can save this team. I agree. I mean, you literally that wouldn't, even those nuts that's a certain somebody likes can't save this team.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
No, let's not do that. I mean, as many times as he advocates for that, I have to say no, thank you. Rick says, yep, going Friday just to do something plus the giveaway. See, that's how it works. Eric says, you think the Halo Honks can polish this steaming pile of shit performance from today? Roger Lodge stamp of approval. Just check out his show Monday. I'm sure he'll have polished it with some sort of coat of paint. Randy says the LA Angels are erectile dysfunction, lots of build-up, big names, and when it comes to game time, nothing rises to the occasion. Dude, we should be, man, Randy, that's like one of the best comments next to all the rhymes by Useless Trucker. My God, that would be, that's perfect. Should be sponsored by Blue Chew or Viagra or one of those pills. Rick says he won't even upgrade the old ass stadium. Absolutely. Ross says owners love Artie because he makes them look good on how incompetent he is. Absolutely. Plus, he's able to bring in money. So, we keep paying this dude. And it's not only just the stadium tickets, because again, he doesn't make money solely on ticket sales. He makes money on the suites, the parking, the freaking merchandise that's sold, the food. Look at how much people are just like one helmet notch after another. One big thing of garlic fries. The burgers combos without a soda is $15. And then you add the soda, you're paying 20 something for a combo. All that stuff adds up, man, because again, the price of food didn't really go up. The price of food and what it makes to what it costs to make a burger at Angel Stadium and the fries, you're talking about maybe $1 or $2. And then so $1 or $2 per combo. And then the soda's like syrup with water mixed in because it's not the actual sodas unless you buy the little liters or the little 16 ounces or whatever. So I mean, dude is making money hand over fist with everything there. When people put in money to be on the scoreboard, you have to pay for that. There's all sorts of things that they pay for that ticket sales are just a fraction of what he makes. It's everything else that comes. I mean, people are still buying. Go to the team stores. It doesn't matter the record. People are flooded in there like they're having a 50% off sale when it's really 50% hike. You're paying $190 instead of jerseys that you can get from me for the same price at $40. You're paying $190 for a jersey or $220 because it was game worn by a guy who's no longer on the team. It's ridiculous. Rick says ready the column on the stadium right there. Also, Joshua says go to the batting cages, Todd, and take the frustrations out. That's what I haven't done in a while. Go to the batting cages. I would love to do that. Let's see. Also, you have I keep betting on the underdogs, our Angels, on the app to win, and so far I've made $1. Did what freeze? I don't know what froze. So with that being said, we're caught up on everything so far. So yeah, I mean, this team sucks. Yep. And I mean, dude, there's no way to say it. Then I would love to fire everybody in the hitting side of this team because they deserve it.
Yeah!
What? This team, I mean, I'm telling you right now, we have upcoming games. Let's go to the schedule real quick because I hate looking ahead, but it's just wonderful to look at now the way that they're playing. So the full schedule plays out like this, at least for the month of May. So we're on May 4th today. We're off tomorrow. And then we have Toronto in for 3. Anderson, Kikuchi, and Soriano, by far our 3 best pitchers going against Toronto. And Toronto's been scuffling hitting-wise. They've been pitching all right, but hitting-wise, scuffling. Tickets as low as $2 to $4 to $3 for those 3 games. And then you got Baltimore coming in for the weekend. And you're going to have Hendricks, Kowanowitz, and Anderson pitching against the Baltimore team scuffling as well. And then we go to San Diego for a 3-game set. And then you have the Dodgers 3-game set at the Ravine or Latrine. And then in Sacramento for the first time, 4-game set with the Oakland Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics. And then we come home for Miami and New York. And the closeout May is the Ohio Shitfucks. So that's a pretty difficult schedule. And you could put Miami on here 20 times. And I would say, hey, that's a pretty difficult schedule. I don't trust us against the Marlins. Hell, you could put the Rockies up there and I'd be like, man, those are some iffy games, man. We might split, those next 20 versus the Rockies. We may get 10. And I'm interested to see when they play the Rockies, how we're going to do against them. I really do. I'm really wondering how we're going to play the Rockies because, I mean, look, last year we lost 2 out of 3. And this team, the Rockies, are off to a historic record right now. I think there's something like, where is it? Let me check the standings real quick. If I can real quick. Hold on a second here. Yeah, the standings here. The Rockies are off to a horrific start. They're 6-28. They lost again. And let me just run one more stat by you. So the only team with a worse run differential than the Angels. And run differential, for those who don't know, which is a very basic stat, it's basically the runs that you've scored opposed to the runs that the other team has scored. So case in point, in the National League West, the Dodgers are plus 43. So they've scored 43 more runs than their opponents. So they've scored 179 and they've given up 136, right? So the Colorado Rockies so far this year, they are 2-17 on the road, 4-11 at home, 6-28. They've scored only 106 runs. They've given up 195. So they have a run differential of minus 89. The Dodgers have plus 43. The best one right now is the Cubs at plus 62. But the worst one by far is minus 89. So they've been scored nearly 100 fucking runs. Where are our beloved Angels in this, you may ask? Well, the Angels have scored just 11 more runs than the Colorado Rockies, with a batting average of 215. Runners in scoring position, 258. Worst in baseball, right? They've scored only 117 runs. They've given up 181. And that is a plus-minus differential of minus 64. 64 runs they've been outscored by. That's bad. And you can go through the lineup for the Colorado Rockies, and let's do that, shall we? Let's look at the Rockies lineup. And you tell me, as I read these names off, are these guys better than the Angels? Let's look at the Rockies lineup. You have leadoff Brenton Doyle. You have left fielder Jordan Beck. You have third baseman Ryan McCann. Batting fourth at DH, Hunter Goodman. You have Michael Toglia. Well, I don't know. And then second baseman, Kyle Farmer. Then you have our boy, Mickey Moniak, the Moniak machine. 3 homers, 9 RBIs, a sparkling 205 average. And then you have at catcher, you have, what's his name here? It's popping up. Jacob Stallings. And at shortstop, Alan Trejo. Wow, that's an amazing lineup. Amazing lineup of household names. And that's who the Angels are competing with as far as their hitting. So we know the Angels lineup. You can't tell me the Angels lineup is not more talented than that one. Yet they're competing very closely with the anemic offense of the Colorado Rockies, who are batting a record low 207 as a team. Yikes. I don't know what to say. It is quite pathetic. So with that being said, we'll read a few more comments. Gotta love having a wonderful pistachios as your sponsor. Balls, and yummy taste, tasting nuts in Kevin's mouth. Andrew says we don't play the Rockies until September. Neither team will be trying by then. Boy, Andrew, you think tickets will be available for that game? The Angels hired Ron Washington, Randy says, thinking he'd bring some fire, but turns out the only line he can manage is the one on the coffee table. Also, Joe Jr. says 7-1 for tickets. 7-1 for tickets. Marty also says never heard of half those Rockies players, and yes, they are the better lineup. Proven wrong again, Marty. I guess I was proven wrong. Well, I took up enough of your time as we're hitting right at the hour mark of this show. It's at 59 minutes and 50 seconds. I think I've wasted enough time of yours and mine watching this shit show lose by a dozen. So with that being said, thank you for everybody coming on. Randy, Marty, Andrew, everybody that's contributed. Silent E, Useless Trucker, Joshua, Rick, all those that stuck through this podcast today. I know I'm a bunch of other people, but I appreciate each and every one of you guys, Dan, Rios, Angels Suck, for coming on. I'm not going to take phones today. Let's give it some time. We need a day off. We need a mental health break, which is Monday. And then hopefully something will change on Tuesday, and maybe we could pull up a win. 2-8 in our last 10. That's awesome. And I think we're 4-14 in our last 18, or 4-15 in our last 19. It's something stupid like that. So, yeah, this has been a bad time to be an Angels fan. Joshua, last comment. Should we be concerned about the Rockies? Hell yeah. Oh, and Halo Joe. Forgot about Halo Joe, my man. Halo Joe. You know, I want to put out the bat signal today, but we'll have to save that for Tuesday, man. We'll have to definitely save that one for Tuesday. So for Todd Fox and everybody on the Halos of the Infield Network, I bid you farewell for today. We'll be back on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you can.